Why is the narcissistic relationship so much harder to get over than any other relationship? I get asked this question a lot, and I frequently have clients saying to me, I had a 10, 15, 20, 30-year marriage end, and it wasn't as difficult as this 1-year narcissistic relationship or 3-year narcissistic relationship. Narcissistic relationships take a lot longer to process and heal from than a normal relationship. And there are so many reasons for this. A relationship with a severely pathological person is an unnatural situation to be in. There's extreme cognitive dissonance, extreme deceit, manipulation. There's so much to untangle. And then there's the trauma bond. And the higher the highs and lower the lows, the more intense the trauma bond. So when you get out of the relationship, it's not just disentangling and making sense of everything that happened. It's the fact that you lost yourself. It's the fact that you have to rebuild, recreate who you are. You question everything when you've been in a relationship with a pathological person. The trauma bond is an addiction, so you're addicted to this person. I know that people say that I think heroin is the most addictive substance known to man, but the reality is that a narcissist is the most addictive substance known to man. There's so much rumination because nothing in a narcissistic relationship makes sense. It's an unnatural situation. It's traumatizing on so many levels. You spend so much time in the relationship not knowing what the hell is going on and desperately trying to make sense of things. There was so much gaslighting. These people insidiously and often extremely covertly psychologically dismantle you, tearing apart your very grip on reality and try to force you to live in theirs. They're continually splitting you from being all good to all bad. They're continually projecting their pathology onto you. You can't get anything right. They abuse you in this whole myriad of ways while telling you that they love you, confusing you with the disparity between their words and actions. They incite the strongest, most powerful, primal emotions and feelings in us. Love, fear of abandonment, adoration, desperation, panic, isolation from other people, from our herd, from our tribe. Extreme gratitude and relief when they go from abusing to love bombing again. They can make you feel so good and more worthless and disgusting than anyone has ever made you feel in your life. They treat you with such a lack of basic humanity, with this horrific cruelty and callousness that we're not supposed to experience at all from another human being, a human being without humanity, let alone the one that we have let fully into our heart and soul. You're literally in a relationship with a partner who cannot feel you, who cannot feel your pain and is completely impervious to it. It's not natural, and yet they're so good at acting, and they're acting in the reality of who they are, and the switching between faking empathy and faking being such a good person and being so different out in public in front of people and behind closed doors, and faking to love you and then treating you just absolutely atrociously. That level of cognitive dissonance puts you into this almost permanent dissociation or freeze state where you can't make sense of things and you can't think your way out. They psychologically, emotionally, career-wise, self-esteem-wise, self-worth-wise, cut you at the knees and clip your wings at every turn, undermining you continually, often so subtly that you don't realize it's happening until it's too late. So when you're asking, why is it so much harder to recover from this relationship than any other relationship I've been in, than the 20-year marriage I was in? Think of it this way. In the other relationships, you were walking through a park, right? There were ups, there were downs, it rained, there were hard times, there was mud, there was things you got through, but it was like normal kind of going for a walk. You went for a 20-year walk. In the narcissistic relationship, that was a 1 year, 6 month, whatever it was, walk through an active war zone. There were bombs going off. There were grenades being thrown at you. You were having to duck and run for cover. There were people shooting at you. There were alarms going off. Fighter jets flying overhead. Like, this is the difference, right? So have compassion for yourself and patience. It's not because there was something wrong with you. It's because you were with such a severely pathological person in such an unnatural situation that it's a whole different animal. And I'm going to add in this metaphor that as you were walking through that war zone, there was also starvation, there was famine, there was drought, and no one spoke the language, and the people were actively hostile. And if you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse educator and a narcissistic relationship recovery coach. Make sure you jump across and follow me on YouTube, and you can book a session with me through the link in my bio.